Welcome to the Dynasty Dads Podcast. Football, rankings, debates, dad stuff with your host, Justin Williams and Matt Renshaw.
And welcome everyone to the Week 13 edition of the Dynasty Dads Podcast. I am your host, Justin Horsecollar Williams, and with me, as always, Matt Renshaw. Matt, how are you today?
Horsecollar, because you're like dragging me down?
Nay.
Is that what we're going for here?
Sure, whatever. It's mostly because I've been playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2. Oh my God. Have you played it yet?
I have not.
That game is amazing.
Yeah?
So you have a horse, obviously, because it's a cowboy game.
Yeah.
You can name your own horse, right?
Did you name it Collar?
No, I named it Hoof-Hearted.
Yeah, Hoof-Hearted.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Emily loved it.
Has she not seen the video of there's a horse in a race called Hoof-Hearted?
Yeah, no, I totally stole it, but
yeah.
it was new to her, so she loved it.
Cool.
Loved it. So how was your week, Matt?
Sweet.
Last week was Thanksgiving.
It was a good week, yeah. We did 2 or 3 Thanksgivings, eating leftovers. What's your best leftover? Like, do you have a leftover meal? Or do you just eat the
turkey sandwich? You just need the turkey, you need the bread, you need the butter, and if I'm feeling really fat, I'll add cheese.
Oh.
Yeah, you just melt cheese on top of it.
I make turkey sliders with those King's Hawaiian rolls. Nice. Oh, perfect. Yeah, I tweeted about it last night. Oh, just perfect. It's so good. Yeah, it was a good week.
3 Thanksgivings, you said? Or dose?
Two like turkey meals.
I got you beat.
Yeah, what did you do, 4?
We did 3.
Oh.
This year. I mean, we had Friendsgiving.
Oh, well, then I had 3 too.
We had my family's Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And then we had Emily's family's Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yep. Emily's family's Thanksgiving, a little weird.
Yeah.
A little weird. They do, her cousin hosted it.
Yeah.
And her cousin's like a real awesome girl, real free spirit. They just do things different, almost for the sake of just being different.
Yeah. So they eat like a horse?
No, they had like, there was, for example,
sage infused.
Yeah.
Duck.
Like they made, of course I'm forgetting everything. So they had cheese dip it was 2 different kinds of cheeses in the dip, like melted in, and then they added like breadcrumbs.
So like soup.
No. Apparently when you add cheese dips melted and then you add breadcrumbs, it makes like a really, like those paper towels you get in the bathroom?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what the texture was. It wasn't a good texture. It didn't work out the way that they thought.
Oh, cool.
What else was there? Of course, I'm like they added like a little too much like horseradish sauce to the cranberries.
I don't eat cranberries.
Oh man, it was weird. It was weird. And then they did cornbread. That was what I was thinking. Cornbread, and they had some kind of seasoning in it, and it didn't work.
Do they listen to the show? Like, do they know that you're?
No.
Oh. Okay, if you're counting Friendsgiving, then I had 3.
No, I'm not saying it was a bad Thanksgiving.
Right.
It was a great meal. It just, those things that were different didn't work out.
You literally just said none of the things they made worked out.
No, everything else was good.
What was that? What else was there? Turkey.
Well, there was turkey. There was seasoning. Not seasoning.
Stuffing.
Stuffing. Thank you. There was bread that wasn't cornbread, just normal rolls.
Potatoes.
There were
beans, potatoes, tomatoes.
Yeah, it was all the other stuff. It was all good. It was all good. Those are just things that I've never heard of before.
Work. Yeah.
Yeah, they just didn't really work out.
We kind of did something different. My brother-in-law he can't eat gluten, so we had a gluten-free Thanksgiving, which was a first for a lot of people. So we had these. It was like gluten-free biscuits. I'm like, all right, they look like the biscuits from Red Lobster, the cheddar biscuits.
Oh my God, I love those.
I'm telling you, these gluten-free biscuits were better than those.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was
easy.
like, no, I know it sounds like an exaggeration. It's not. It was amazing. But the gluten-free stuffing was a little off. I mean, it was good, but it wasn't stovetop. Nothing compared to stovetop. So
you and your stovetop.
I love stovetop.
Creepy.
So
it's just creepy.
What about the kids? Any kid stories?
No, not really. I mean, Carson got 4 days off of school, so he hung out a lot. But yeah, I mean, the baby's the baby. She had to get some shots today, which sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's hard. But other than that, no, nothing really too new.
So I don't know if you've noticed. I got a little facial hair. Doing this whole No Shave November thing.
Yeah, it's adorable.
First time ever. First time. This is probably the longest ever. I haven't shaved since I turned 30.
And this is all you got.
Yeah. Well, hey, I did that. Yeah. Anyway, so my youngest having a rough day today when I got home and picked her up, and she went in for a hug, and like my beard poked her face, and she was like, "Oh," and then she's like rubbing it and like petting me. She's like, "Oh, Daddy soft," petting my beard, and yeah. So that was like today, but my oldest, she's gonna be 3, in like 4 weeks. And putting her to bed last night, tonight, and every night before I put her down, she's like, she's got this thing with 2 minutes. So she's like, I want to rock for 2 minutes. So we rock, and she goes, Daddy, let's talk about something. I'm like, okay, what do you want to talk about? And it's just like random things. Like tonight it was, let's talk about Grandpa's job. And she's like, what does Grandpa do? Like legit, like asking me questions.
Huh.
Yeah, and I'm like, I like this. Like, this is kind of cool that I can start having these conversations, and she's getting things. And I said, like, my father-in-law is a superintendent. And so I said, well, Grandpa runs a school. Oh, who's he in charge of? I said, the teachers. So he, like, walks around, and I'm like, yep. And she helps people. Yep. I'm like, this is kind of cool. I got a 3-year-old, or almost 3-year-old, that's, like, comprehending things and making connections. So, yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad that you guys actually feel important for once. That's
I
cool.
feel important?
Yeah, I'm sure that felt good.
Oh, yeah.
When kids ask you questions, that's what it feels like. It's just like, I know more than this person.
I
You know what I
teach,
mean?
man. I know more than a lot of kids.
Wow, easy. Jeez.
I'm teaching about student loan debt this past week. Yeah,
That's something they need to know about.
it is.
It really is.
It's like, yeah, we do that. It's not. Well, that's a whole different podcast topic.
Yeah.
But
Well, my boy turns 8 this week.
nice.
So that's awesome. Tomorrow, and then we got a big party going on Saturday, and we're gonna celebrate that. And then, quick story about Carly, and then we'll move on. So Carly does this thing now. We rock her to sleep every night. I know I've talked to you about that.
Yeah.
Because it's a horrible decision. So every week every night we rock her.
Horrible decision.
That's how she falls asleep. And lately she's been really into her babies. She has 2 baby dolls.
Yep.
She won't let us rock her
Without the baby.
unless she's holding those babies.
Yep, both of them.
So, and when she's rocking, she's laying there in your arms and she's, rocking with them. She'll like every now and then she'll go, shh, 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 shh,
Yep.
and kiss those babies on the head.
Just like you guys do, right?
Oh my God.
Yep.
It's adorable.
It's cute. Yeah.
And it's really cute until she falls asleep and you have to remove those babies from her hands to take her to her
You don't
crib.
just let her sleeping with them?
No, because then, I don't know. It's too much in her crib.
I don't know how big her crib is, but
Well, I mean, her crib's, it's a nice sized crib, I'm a realtor. But she's, I don't know. I don't want to put her in there with too many toys and too many blankets and this and that. It's just like,
our youngest sleeps with a stuffed bear, a stuffed rabbit, and a baby doll. So, I mean...
Yeah, she has other stuffed animals in there. Nothing too crazy, but it's like I don't want to add more to it.
Yeah.
And it kind of keeps those babies special without them being in her crib all night.
Right.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, we should probably talk about football instead of babies and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, week 13. I got good news.
You got good news?
There are no more buys.
Sweet.
No more bye weeks. We're done. Everybody's available that's not injured.
But that's scary because, I mean, Todd Gurley's back.
Todd Gurley is
I
back.
have, like, nightmares of last year's playoff run where I ran into that buzzsaw where he put up 50 points 2 weeks in a row. And
Yeah.
Yeah, that was me. Thanks, Todd.
So let's start off with A.J. Green. A.J. Green participated in Wednesday's morning's walkthrough and said he's back to play this week against the Broncos.
Good. Why?
Green seemed to be pretty close last week against the Browns, and the Bengals badly needed him after going 0-3 with Green on the sideline. The playoff hopes are likely dead for the Bengals with Andy Dalton done for the year, but Jeff Driscoll has shown some playmaking ability in limited NFL action.
Yeah.
AJG with Driscoll, wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2?
I'm not trusting him as a 1. Driscoll. I mean,
Doesn't that feel weird to you to say AJ Green is not a wide receiver 1?
but it's not because of AJ Green. It's because of his quarterback. Like, who's Jeff Driscoll? You know what I mean? Like,
how dare you?
Oh, you know?
Disparage the good goddamn name of Jeff Driscoll.
Tell me where he went to college.
No clue.
Oh, okay. So, like, why do you think he's gonna? Do you think he's a wide receiver 1?
I just think AJ Green is so talented. You can't treat him as anything other than a wide receiver 1. You're going to go down with that ship.
Oh, I'm starting him, yeah, but I'm not expecting wide receiver 1 numbers. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. Let's see. Where else to go? Well, I mean, if we're going to talk about star quarterbacks like Jeff Driscoll, we might as well talk about Nick Mullins. Coach Kyle Shanahan announced that Nick Mullins will start Week 13 at the Seahawks.
By the way, Jeff Driscoll, Louisiana Tech.
Oh, yeah, of course he did.
Yeah.
Go Cajuns?
That's a good guess.
Ragin' Cajuns? Mullins figures to have a much tighter leash this time around after regressing in back-to-back starts against the Giants and then at the Bucs after his coming-out party game against the Raiders in Week 9. Mullins, who is 45 of 71 for 471 yards, that's 6.63 yards per attempt, with 2 touchdowns and 4 picks in the last 2 weeks. C.J. Beathard is healthy and ready to roll should Mullins again flop in Seattle.
Yep.
Obviously, we're not starting Mullins anywhere.
Nope.
In Superflex, you got to be desperate. But I think there's a lot of hope here for C.J. Beathard.
I like C.J. Beathard.
For those people that were worried about Mullins taking C.J. Beathard's job on the depth chart, which I know I was kind of worried about.
You were definitely one of them.
I'm totally on the other side of that. It's all Beathard. All Beathard.
So you're... wait, are you starting Beathard?
If I'm in a Superflex league and somehow Beathard's available, go get Beathard. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm not saying start him because he's obviously not starting the game.
Right.
I'm saying go get Beathard if he's available and you need a quarterback. I don't know.
It's hard to disagree with that.
Yeah.
I like Beathard. I've liked Beathard for a while. Beathard did well with Kittle. Lost his job because of an injury. That's usually not how you lose a job, but Mullins has kind of been, the NFL finally got some tape on him and figured out what he does.
The Patriots activated running back Rex Burkhead.
Oh, my hot take.
Yeah, he's off of the injured reserve. He's eligible to play in Week 13 against the Vikings. Burkhead suffered the neck injury in Week 3 and spent the ensuing 2.5 months on IR. If you're a Sony Michel or James White owner, are you worried?
It's just another mouth to feed, and New England's backfield has always been a little unpredictable. I feel like James White has kind of solidified that PPR, catching the ball, receiver out of the backfield role.
You got to start White.
Yeah, White's the auto start, but I think if you're desperate in some leagues, not this week, but maybe in the playoffs, if you're desperate, Burkhead is a decent play because he's shown what he can do. He played well down the stretch last year. I know he's coming back from a weird injury, but I've always liked Burkhead. I think he'll produce something. Deep leagues, you could fire him up as a running back 4 flex. Not this week, but in your playoffs.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's definitely somebody you want to have rostered and you want to have ready to go. I think you'd have to be really desperate. I think the time for Rex Burkhead, love is kind of past because, he's valuable to have in bye-week situations. You got a guy that's down, you need a gamble, a guy that could score. I think when you have everybody available that's available now, it's really tough to line him up as a flex 2 even.
Yeah.
So, Lions finally placed wide receiver Marvin Jones on injured reserve with a knee injury, ending his season. Jones had already missed weeks 11 and 12. He's in the 3rd year of a 5-year deal. Marvin tallied 56 yards per game this season. Jones' loss, coupled with Golden Tate's trade, leaves the Lions embarrassingly thin at wide receiver behind Kenny Galladay.
Yep.
What is Galladay the rest of the season to you? Because he's struggled lately.
Yeah, but he's going to see opportunities.
He's going to grow as a player.
Well, and the whole Lions offense has struggled this year.
Oh, it's ugly.
Matt Patricia has taken this high octane air raid of an offense and made them a ground and pound team, which is just weird to see Matthew Stafford as a ground and pound quarterback. Galladay's a wide receiver. Low-end wide receiver 2, high-end wide receiver 3, just based on opportunities that I think he's going to get. He's a red zone guy. He's the biggest wide receiver they've got. Who's their tight end?
I think that's fair. What? So Bruce Ellington is going to get some opportunity here.
He was a Renegade.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was. I mean, the last week he was a Renegade.
So are you buying in on Bruce Ellington a little bit here?
He's got 16 targets over his last 2 games.
That's quite a bit.
And
there's no one else.
The targets are there, but he hasn't done it. He's only gotten 80 yards in 2 games.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of upside. He's not that good.
No, he'll catch ball. He's a free agent at the end of the year. I was on a different pod and we kind of talked about Ellington, and it's just I would rather take like a second, third round rookie pick than Bruce Ellington right now.
Yeah. Oh,
like
absolutely.
in a heartbeat. But if someone wants to pay that, but it's just like he'll get the opportunity. He just doesn't do anything with it, and he can't stay healthy. The dude cannot stay healthy. This is the healthiest stretch. That's probably a lie, but what I'm saying is he's hurt. He's been hurt every year.
All the time.
Yeah,
all the time. So, Kerryon Johnson and LeGarrette Blount get a bit of a bump the rest of the way.
Well, Johnson's out this week.
He's probably
gonna be out. Yeah,
probably out. So I really like Blount.
I do too.
The Chargers have confirmed that Melvin Gordon is dealing with an MCL sprain and is week to week.
Yes.
Gordon will miss this week's game trip to Pittsburgh and almost certainly week 14 against the Bengals.
Yep.
It's entirely possible he's sidelined for the remainder of the regular season, though that does not appear to be the most likely outcome right now. Austin Eckler will lead the Chargers committee in Gordon's absence with 7th-round rookie and my boy, Justin Jackson, mixing in.
Mm-hmm.
Call me crazy, but I think Eckler has running back 1 upside the next couple of weeks.
Dude.
Upside.
It's weird that I'm going to agree with you.
Wow.
I'm going to agree with you. I love that. Yeah. Well, yeah. Wide receiver 1, absolutely. Like, I don't even think you call that upside. Like, I think his floor is running back. I think his floor is running back 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
So call me crazier. I think that if you're, I don't know why you'd be super desperate, but if you have to start, like, let's say you have to start 2 or 3 running backs and you have 2 flex spots.
Okay.
I think you could flex Justin Jackson.
That's a little more
Against the Steelers and against the Bengals, I think you can flex him.
That's a little more bold.
He's going to get opportunity, and you've seen him play in college. He's
know.
a good running back.
Well, and Eckler, the Chargers haven't done a really good job of keeping people healthy this year.
He can't help that.
I don't know. I feel like they've been the most injured team in the NFL.
They're doing good.
Justin Jackson's a guy, if he's out there on waivers, add him.
Oh my God!
Absolutely, add him.
Yeah, and I know people look at that and they're like, he's behind Eckler, who's really good, and he's behind Melvin Gordon, that's really good.
Right.
Yes, they're absolutely good, but cream rises to the top. And I think Justin Jackson isn't better than those 2 guys, but I think Justin Jackson is very, very good.
He was a 7th-round pick. He was like the 5th running back on the roster when they drafted him, and he's fought his way through. He's the 3rd running back now. He's talented. The guy's talented. Justin Jackson was the number 2 last week. 7 carries against the Cardinals the week before that. He's a stash. Like, you could grab him and stash him. You obviously are a little bit higher on him than I am, but I would absolutely grab him and hold him for your playoff run.
He costs nothing to get. He costs nothing to get for so long.
I know for a fact his ownership rate is less than 50%. Know that for a fact. I've looked at him this week.
So speaking of running backs, Eagles running back coach Deuce Staley said Josh Adams is still part of a committee. Matt, 2 questions for you. 1, did you know Deuce Staley was a coach in the NFL?
I did.
Wow.
I legitimately did, yeah.
It's just me then. 2, you buying this and rolling, or are you rolling with Adams?
Dude, I'm rolling with Adams.
Yeah, okay.
He's the RB1. He's led the backfield committee.
He had 22 carries last week, and this week he plays Washington.
Yeah. Deuce Staley probably has 1 too many concussions and doesn't realize what he's saying, because Josh Adams is the guy to own. I saw a poll on Twitter. Where is Josh Adams for you next year? Top 10, top 20, top 30.
Jeez, you started off strong.
No, that's just what the options were. Top 10, top 20, top 30.
If the season ended today,
he's the running back 1 in Philly.
If the season ended today, he's definitely in the top 20. Past that's crazy. But I don't think top 10 is fair. Like, off the top of my head, I can think of like 7 guys I'd rather have.
I agree.
Easily.
Yeah.
I think probably top 15, top 20, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, 15, 20. That's where
that could be a guy that ends up completely blowing up next year, and winning you a league.
Could be.
I could go that far with it.
But I could also see Philly going out and getting a running back or drafting a running back or. So it's like he's in that weird range where he could be really valuable or he could be gone.
And Clement is still there, and Smallwood is still there, and I feel like I'm missing a guy. Oh, Ajayi's not going to be there.
No, Ajayi's a free agent. But it's like, look at the guys that they've got. They've added Clement in years past. They've added Smallwood. It seems like every year they draft a running back. And if they lose Ajayi, they could look to add someone else. So it's like the backfield looks like a committee. It could be a committee for a while. But Adams has produced and he's leading that backfield right now.
It's not only that; it's just that he looks better than anybody else they put back there.
Oh, he's so good.
I don't know about that.
So good.
I wasn't gonna talk about Reuben Foster, but he's trash, and it's not really worth talking about on a fantasy football show.
Okay.
But man, thank goodness he didn't take a knee or something terrible, because that'd be bad. Mitchell Trubisky returned to a limited practice on Wednesday. Coach Matt Nagy said Trubisky's status for Week 13 could go down to the wire if he starts feeling better, and we feel like we need to make a decision earlier. We'll do that, said Nagy. It could end up being a game-time thing. Chase Daniel would draw another start if Trubisky can't go Sunday against the Giants. Daniel threw 2 touchdowns and over 200 yards in his last start.
Yeah.
Is there any kind of uptick for anybody if Trubisky starts rather than Daniel to you, or are they kind of the same thing in this offense?
I think Trubisky obviously has more talent, a little bit more upside, but
clearly. But I mean, as far as like the wide receivers and the surrounding,
and Anthony Miller, I don't downgrade Allen Robinson. I don't.
That's what I was looking for.
Trey Burton hasn't done a whole lot lately. I think the guy to own in Chicago, if I'm picking one skill position player, is Cohen.
Okay.
But, I mean, some guys started Daniel last week, and, I mean, he did okay.
Yeah,
15,
you had to be in
16 points.
That was the people that had Mahomes and no backup plan, or Goff and no backup plan.
Or
I'll
Eli.
figure it out.
Yeah.
The Broncos tight end Jeff Auerman suffered broken ribs and a bruised lung in Sunday's win over the Steelers and is done for the season.
Yeah.
The fourth-year pro operated as Broncos' lead tight end this season, catching a career-high 31 passes for 281 yards. Now 26, he is headed to free agency. Matt Lacoste, I believe is his name, is now considered the starter in Denver. Lacoste had 3 catches for 34 yards and a touchdown last week.
How awful has it been to be a Denver tight end?
Oh, my gosh. First Butt, now Auerman.
Yeah.
Oh, now you're starting Lacoste or Lacoste. I don't want that Frenchie on my team.
Probably saying it wrong.
Yeah, it starts with Law, so.
Didn't they draft a rookie tight end too?
No, I don't think so. I think Butt was the last one.
I feel like they drafted somebody, but.
Yeah. Anyways, you're not going to start Lacoste, though, are you?
No.
I can't imagine how desperate you have to be.
No.
Give me Antonio Gates all day long.
That's a decent one, yeah. Jonnu Smith is, his ownership percentage is down. Brate.
It's been going up the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Colts placed tight end Jack Doyle.
It was a bad week to be a tight end. I had both those guys. I had Auerman and Doyle in one league.
They placed Doyle on the IR, ended the season. He was hospitalized after Week 12's win over Miami and underwent a procedure. Coach Frank Reich did say Monday that Doyle's prognosis is good to resume playing in 2019. Doyle plays over 80% of the team's offensive snaps. With Ebron taking over the number 1 tight end role, Mo Ali Cox will move to number 2. And number 3, tight end Eric Swope hasn't played since Week 7 due to a knee injury. If you were stubborn before, now is definitely the time to be all in on Ebron the rest of the way.
Yeah,
wouldn't you say?
He's hurt. He sat out practice today, but that could just be a.
Why don't you take it easy because you're going to be on the field a lot.
Yeah, and that's what it means. Yeah, he signed a 1-year deal, he signed a 4 in 20. When did he signed? I think
it was this offseason.
It was a 1-year deal, right?
I think so.
So he did well with this prove it deal. Yeah.
Oh, he's proven it.
Yeah, I think he made himself some money.
As of today, November 28th, Marlon Mack is still in the concussion protocol. You may want to keep an eye on that one. Nyheim Hines and Jordan Wilkins are waiting in the wings. Colts play the struggling Jags.
Yeah.
If Marlon Mack is active, you rolling with Mack?
No.
If Marlon Mack isn't active, are you rolling with Hines or Wilkins?
If I had to pick one, I'd pick Hines. But I'm not super confident. Did you see?
I'd be worried if I had to start Wilkins, but I'd be more than happy to start Hines without Marlon Mack around.
Yeah. He's not going to carry the load, but he's going to catch. He's going to catch balls.
Nice RB3.
By the way, Ebron signed a 2-year deal. $15 million 2-year deal. Did you see the news this week with the Colts and the running back next year?
No.
I know you don't. I know you're going to hate this. Like, you don't like doing speculative stuff, but rumors swirling that the Colts could make a run for Le'Veon Bell.
Sure. Oh, Bell tweeted out, just imagine or whatever, right?
That offense with me and Luck. And
dorks like you just jumped all over that.
I didn't jump all over it. I just know that you don't like it, and I wanted to see what your thoughts were.
Well, if they pay him what he's worth, I mean, he's going to be there.
You think they're going to pay him what he's worth? What's he worth?
I think somebody does. Like, we talked about this last week, I believe.
It was a couple weeks ago, but yeah.
Since we're talking about the Colts, we might as well do this. The rest of this is just so Colts and Jags heavy. It's ridiculous. I think this deserves mentioning. Andrew Luck completed 30 of 37 passes for 343 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions in the Colts' 27-24 Week 12 win over the Dolphins. Luck is now just the 3rd player in NFL history to throw for at least 3 touchdowns in 8 consecutive games. With another 3-score day in Week 13 against the collapsed Jaguars, Luck can join 2007 Tom Brady as only the 2nd player with a 9-game streak. Although he was sacked for the first time, actually, that's about it. That's all I got. The rest of it was like, yeah, he got sacked and this and that. It doesn't really matter. Luck is pretty damn good, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
He's up there with Mahomes in some stats. He's up there with Drew Brees right now. He is totally overperforming. I remember in the week 1 or 2 we were talking about how he just doesn't look the same.
Right.
He's too rusty.
And he still doesn't look like old Andrew Luck, but he's producing.
Yeah.
Like, does that make sense? Like, he doesn't look like he's fully back, but he's doing enough that you're like, oh, this is why he was the number 1 pick, and this is why everyone had a bunch of hype around him. And
Leonard Fournette's appeal of his 1-game suspension was denied, and he is out for Week 13 against the Colts.
Don't throw punches, kids.
Big Len was suspended for his role in an altercation with Bills D-end Shaq Lawson last Sunday, coming off the bench and doing his best LeGarrette Blount impersonation.
Pow.
Remember that one? You remember that one? That Hawaii game?
I do remember that. It wasn't Hawaii.
Wasn't it? I thought it was Hawaii.
It was Oregon, Boise.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
You know who grabbed Blunt and took him away from the Boise player that he punched?
No.
The greatest college football coach in college football right now, Scott Frost.
Wow.
Yeah, watch that video.
Nice.
And go back and watch that video. There's your dad's stat.
That's a deep dive.
Yeah, Scott Frost is the one that grabs him and takes him. He's not the greatest coach in football, but yeah, Scott Frost on the Oregon staff. Learn from Chip Kelly. And yeah.
So in his absence, the Jaguars roll with Carlos Hyde and TJ Yeldon. You like one of those guys better than the other?
Yeldon. I've liked Yeldon.
By a lot?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He catches passes. That's kind of my MO.
I'm with you. Lots of Jags news this week. This is the last bit. Cody Kessler was named the starter over Blake Bortles.
What a dummy.
The Jags are going to draft a quarterback so hard.
Oh, wait. No, they're not.
Oh.
Okay, that's not fair. I think they'll draft a quarterback, but I don't think...
Think they might mess with Kessler?
I don't think they're going to mess with Kessler. I think they're going to... I want to make a rhyme here, and I can't think of one. They're going to go get a free guy named Eli.
There it is.
And Manning's going to go to Jacksonville.
Yeah, that's where all the old guys retire anyways.
And true, go to Florida and see. I mean, they could draft a quarterback, but I think they're going to get an older Eli. They could go down. And unless Eli goes, I'm going to retire rather than play for another team. But
first round quarterback, Jags. That's what's going to happen.
Where they're not going to pick high enough to get a decent
first round quarterback by the Jags.
Because that's worked out so well for them.
I'm not saying it's going to work out. I'm not even going to tell you which one.
What if they go out and get...
They're going to fall in love with somebody.
Teddy Bridgewater.
What?
Or Tyrod Taylor.
Why wouldn't you just take Cody Kessler over Teddy Bridgewater? I think I'd take Kessler.
Okay, what about Tyrod? Or Tyrod. Sorry, I know I'm pronouncing it wrong.
No, I'd take Kessler.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's bold.
Well, Kessler has a chance to at least
okay, here's a better one.
Money here.
Here's a better one. Legitimate. Here's a better one. Joe Flacco.
Oh, I like Joe Flacco a lot.
Joe Flacco going to Jacksonville, deep ball, fast receivers.
Yeah, in that offense, I like Joe Flacco. I just don't see them doing it because Joe Flacco's going to demand I won a Super Bowl once.
Yeah, he's got a contract. They could trade him. He doesn't need a new contract.
I don't like it, but he's getting paid really nice though.
Oh yeah, the Jags can.
The Jags aren't going to do that. They'd rather get a rookie for that kind of money. A first round rookie.
They think they're competitive. Like they think they're contenders.
Yeah, the rest of that.
They were one win away from the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah.
If they had a competent quarterback, they might have gone to the Super Bowl last year. I think Flacco.
How much
makes
better
sense.
would they be if they had a competent quarterback now?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Speaking of competent quarterbacks,
this is why I led to this. Because,
Lamar Jackson is getting another start this week with Flacco sidelined.
Yeah.
Flacco lost his job.
He did.
The Ravens play a pitiful Atlanta Falcons team. What is Lamar Jackson to you, Matt, going forward?
I think it's a QB1. Wow. You don't think it's a QB1?
I think you're right.
Oh, my goodness. What are we doing? We don't ever agree with stuff like this.
I really think you're right. And it's kind of weird. It's just kind of weird.
You know who Lamar Jackson is?
Oh.
I'm not going to say Mike Vick.
Okay, good.
Lamar Jackson is Deshaun Watson. Like from last year, a rookie quarterback that wasn't expected to play, was supposed to sit behind a guy. Watson got playing time, blew up. Jackson's getting playing time, blowing up. There's always this one athletic guy that comes in that's not supposed to play and does well.
The problem is, Matt, is that he does not look like an NFL caliber passer. Deshaun Watson looked like an NFL caliber passer. He's the last game against Oakland, who's not a very good defense.
Yeah.
14 of 25, 178 yards, threw a touchdown, but also threw 2 picks.
Yeah.
In his first start, he threw a pick.
Yeah. That was the knock on him coming out was he threw too many picks.
His fantasy production is coming a lot from his rushing ability, and he has a great rushing ability. But we've seen this happen time and time again with quarterbacks that rely on those stats, those rushing stats. Eventually, they become too valuable to an NFL team and an NFL coach to allow them to rush. This happened to Cam Newton. This eventually, they tried to do this to Vic multiple times. They don't let him run as much.
Yeah.
He had 26 rushes in his first game, which I get it. He's a rookie quarterback. And I think that shows that coaching staff knows he's not ready to be passing. He's not ready to be out there. He's learning as he goes.
Have they won the last 2 games with Jackson?
That's a great question. I'll effort that right now.
Oh, right.
He
He was a first-round pick, man. He's going to be there long term.
I typed in Baltimore Jacksons.
Baltimore, yeah, the Baltimore
you do
Lamar
not want to see the
Jacksons.
search history. It's gross.
Gross. No, so, like, why do you think he's not? He's the starter next year, yes?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Flacco's
Absolutely.
gone. I mean, I kind of alluded to that before.
They're actually 2-0. They beat the Raiders
Boom.
34-17. Yeah, that's everything. And then they beat the Bengals 24-21. At this point in the season, I don't know if Joe Flacco couldn't have done that. Led them to a victory over those 2 teams. Those 2 teams are terrible right now.
It's
Trash.
funny that Baltimore has won a Super Bowl with a terrible quarterback. So, like, it fit. I mean, he's not awful. He's competent. He's a rookie. He's 22, I think.
He's 21 actually.
21. Okay.
He's going to turn 22 this season.
Okay, I knew he was young.
Yeah.
He'll be fine, unless he tears his ACL like RG3 and becomes a completely different quarterback. But you've got guys in place that know how to use those mobile quarterbacks, like Vic.
Let's say somehow you made it to the playoffs, and you've been rolling with either Joe Flacco or you've been rolling with Andy Dalton or Blake Bortles, or maybe all 3 of them. You were just kind of mix and matching. You were that guy.
Yeah.
You got Lamar Jackson sitting there.
Yeah.
You rolling with Lamar Jackson the rest of the way. So you got Atlanta.
Positively.
He's in Atlanta, by the way.
Yeah.
Then he travels to KC.
Yeah.
Then at home, week 15, Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Oh.
3 bad defenses.
Yeah. He could be that guy that's your fantasy playoffs MVP. Ooh. He could be that guy that leads some team to their championship.
Wow.
I'll say it.
Do you want mine? I have a quarterback that's just like that.
Sure.
Dak Prescott. They have the easiest schedule in terms of secondaries and play against quarterbacks. The Amari Cooper-Dak connection is a real thing.
I agree.
That's
you and I have not talked about it enough.
No, and I'm a Cowboys fan, and I haven't believed in it. I don't know, man. Thanksgiving, I know one of those plays was a big play, a 90-whatever-yard touchdown. But it wasn't the only touchdown he scored. He runs routes. He makes cornerbacks look silly. He gets open. I feel like even a decent quarterback can hit an open wide receiver.
What did they give up for Mari again?
They gave him a first-round pick. And at the time, when the trade was made, the pick was 10. Right now, the pick is 18.
Yep.
If they make it to the playoffs and win, which they haven't done a lot of, the pick even gets higher.
No. The thing is, there's a lot of really, really good quarterback play right now. There's some really bad ones, but there's some good ones. You still have Mahomes. You still have Goff. You still have Breeze. You still have Luck. I mean, off the top of my head. Yeah, Big Ben's been okay. So, I mean...
Having a top 5 year.
Yeah. For Big Ben.
He's having a top 5.
Oh, overall? Is he really right now?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Last I checked.
He just never looks good.
I know he's top 10.
Whenever I watch him, he just looks terrible. That's all I got, though. That's it for news.
Ben, I'm looking at it now. 5th overall. Breeze is 2nd.
Luck is... or Mahomes must be first.
Yeah. I think Luck is outside the top 5, but he's up in he's in the top 10, yeah.
Okay. Well, that does it for news and notes. So, Matt, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to do your Renegade thing.
Renegades.
We're going to make some people some money with the wager of the week.
Ching, ching.
And then I guess we'll just go wherever the show takes us.
All right. Oh, wait, one more thing.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on, this has come up in a few leagues that I'm in. I know in a league we're in together that we have a rule set up for this, but trade deadlines in dynasty leagues.
The league that I run.
Yes, I know the answer to this.
Yeah, the deadline is the week before playoffs.
Yep.
I'm in leagues that aren't like that, and I'm in leagues that are like that. Me personally, I don't think there should be trading happening during the playoffs.
Cool.
Because I think you're getting people at their lowest moment, and I just feel like that's not right. So like in the one league that I'm in that where I'm gonna make playoffs, and playoffs start this week, I made a trade, a couple of them, and I acquired Antonio Brown.
Yep.
I don't think I should have been allowed to do that, but I played by the rules.
By the rules, yep.
Yeah, so I don't know. Where do you stand?
Same thing. So I am very, very pro trade deadline. I like it the last week before playoffs.
Yeah, make a move before the playoffs start.
I've seen things where leagues go, if you're still alive in the playoffs, you can't make trades. I don't like that because...
No, that's not fair.
Right, because now I'm handcuffed from making a move on a guy that...
As the sixth seed, you know what I mean? Guy that's not going to win it anyway.
Well, even if I lose the first round and the next round plays, but there's people in the playoffs, and someone goes, by the way, I'm going to make Barkley available, but you 4 teams can't make trade offers because you're in the playoffs. Like...
That's the worst answer.
Yeah.
You got 3 answers. You can say yes, or trade deadline, no trade deadline, or like some people can do trades.
Yeah, that's the worst
answer by far.
But I'm in leagues with guys that are like, it's a dynasty league, you don't need a trade deadline. And I've seen a league fall apart because there was no trade deadline and trades in the playoffs happened, and one owner was not very well liked, had a very solid team. One guy sold low to give his opponent a bunch of stuff and go, haha, now you're going to lose.
Yeah, see, if there's a rivalry going on, you can help out somebody that's not involved in that rivalry to beat your rival.
Yep.
And that's something I've seen happen a million times.
Yep.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I don't think that's fair. That's not right. It shouldn't be that way. But as soon as that champion is crowned.
Trade it's open.
The rest of the year.
Yep, absolutely.
That's how I feel about it.
So there's a 4-week window where you can't make trades.
Yeah, and if you needed to make a trade in those 4 weeks, tough luck, man.
Yeah.
You had all the time in the world.
Get your depth, figure it out.
I gave you 48 weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I gave you 48 straight weeks.
So, I kind of assumed we were on the same page, but I've seen recently guys that are kind of the opposite, and they're in the minority. Most of the leagues I'm in, like one league said, hey, I just realized we don't have a trade deadline. We're going to make a trade deadline now. It's going to be next week. Can't make any trades. But
that's not how you do it.
No, but they were late to the show. They didn't set one. In the bylaws it says there's a trade deadline, but they didn't set one on the league page. So they just said next week.
Man, you're playing with the rookies.
I am. I'm not commish, so I let them make their mistakes and learn.
All right, so we're gonna take a break now, Matt. We're gonna come back. Like I said, Renegades, wager of the week, blah 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 blah.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll be right back.
Yeah, the Renegades. Renshaw's Renegades.
All right, recap. We're going to recap last week's Renegades. Cameron Brate was owned in 49% of leagues, right under that threshold. This week, way up there, 88% of leagues. That was a pretty straightforward one. O.J. Howard out. Brate hops in. Brate last week scored 11.9 points. I'd call that a win. My other Renegade was Bruce. Can't stay healthy Ellington with all the opportunities we talked earlier that he's getting. I turned that last week into 9 points. So this week, the Renegades that I'm gonna roll with, I'm gonna roll a blunt and go with LeGarrette Blount with Kerryon Johnson out. So, Blount shocked the world on Thanksgiving. Not by scoring 2 touchdowns, which is always a possibility with him, but rumbling for 88 yards against that Bears' tough run defense. His overall effectiveness, it's not there, but it's okay. But there's always a great chance that he scores a couple touchdowns or he can be scripted out. The Rams' defense is okay, but his usage and scoring upside makes him an option in deep leagues. And he's out there, he's under 50%, go grab him. My other Renegade, I'm going to go to a wide receiver. I'm going to go with Josh Doxson, which is scary because we've talked about Washington wide receivers. But Alex Smith injury could end up being good news for Doxson's fantasy outlook. Colt McCoy targeted the receiver 15 times on his first 50 attempts this season, 30% target share, 10 times against the Cowboys. He turned that into 6 catches for 66 yards. Without the tough matchups, I mean, he did well against the Dallas defense. Easier time Monday night against the Eagles. Disappointment so far in his career, but he's got a shot to finally live up to some of that hype, and he's going to have some opportunities. So Doxson is my other Renegade of the week.
Woo! Woo!
I'm going to go roll that blunt.
Jeez. Okay, well, while you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and get started with the wager of the week.
It's the Dynasty Dad's Wager of the Week.
Matt, your boy is 8-3.
That's pretty good. You know what? That's better than the wife picks went.
8-3. And you know what? This week it's simple. Colts by 4.5 over the Jags in Jacksonville.
That seems like a trap game.
I'm not even going to be cute this week. I'm just going to give y'all a statgasm for your ear holes. You ready? Luck has thrown 3 or more touchdown passes in 8 consecutive games. That matches the franchise record set by Peyton frickin' Manning in 2004.
That Bronco guy?
Luck has thrown at least 1 touchdown pass now in 34 consecutive games, the longest active streak and 8th longest streak in league history.
Remember when he was out for 562 days?
Luck has thrown 25 red zone passing touchdowns, tied with Patrick Mahomes for most in the league. The Jaguars rank 20th in yards allowed per completion, 11. The Jaguars have scored a touchdown on just 14.7% of their drives at home this season. That's 31st in the league.
Yeah.
Jacksonville averages just 1.6 red zone opportunities per game at home, fewest in the league.
And Jackson was probably going to be without Jalen Ramsey.
No Leonard Fournette, and they have Cody Kessler. Colts by 4.5. Don't overthink it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We need to get applause sound effects.
I'm sure it's in there.
I'm
positive it's in there.
Man, I seen that line. I really did expect 8.5 to 10.
Wow.
And I seen 4.5. And I tell you what, we are going to have one hell of a Christmas at the Williams household. One hell of a Christmas.
Okay.
Or we're going to be broke. But
Yeah, because you're betting your house on this one? Or?
yeah, we're going to be looking for a new house or something. Or
Yeah. But I know a guy that buys and sells houses.
yeah,
So.
no, absolutely. I know a few. So Matt, that I think that does it.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I don't really want to talk hot takes.
I just want to talk about one hot take.
Okay, I'll let you talk about one hot take. That's it. Because there's no reason to talk about Scott Fishbowl because we're out. We're not even in the playoffs.
Why'd you bring that up? We were just going to ignore that fact.
No, we're straightforward here. That's why we talk about our hot takes. We talk about how bad wife picks was. We talk
Wife
about
picks
everything here.
was bad.
So let's go ahead. You hit me with it. What do you got to talk about?
I want to talk about this Josh Gordon, Jarvis Landry.
Okay. All right.
Do you know where they stand?
I know it's a lot closer now.
Landry has 137 points. 137. You should be disappointed, right?
Yeah. About 3 or 4 bad weeks in a row.
Yeah, there's been 3 weeks in a row where Josh Gordon has outscored Jarvis Landry. Josh Gordon, 106.
Yep. Much closer than it should have been.
So 31 points separate the two.
Yeah, and it's really concerning because of the offensive output that Cleveland made last week.
Right.
And Jarvis still had like 3 catches.
Yep. It's not pretty. That's the one I wanted to be like, hey, by the way, you like laughed at me early in the season.
Well, he should. He has Tom Brady.
Oh, now we got excuses.
No, I'm not. Well, I mean, if you get excuses, I get excuses.
What excuse did I have? I just thought Josh Gordon.
You called him more talented, like over and over again, without any kind of. I mean, back when we were at the Seagram's Escape Studios,
the Seagram's Escape,
you would not stop talking about how great he is as a wide receiver and this and that, and it's just like he has Tom Brady, and it's like he's not doing that great.
But when I made the hot take claim, they had the same quarterback,
right?
They're on the same team.
I think if the roles were reversed,
same awful head coach.
I think the roles were reversed. I think Jarvis Landry would be doing a little better.
If you think Jarvis was in New England,
yeah, with Tom Brady as opposed to a rookie quarterback. Hey, I'm not. Baker Mayfield's nice, but he's not Tom Brady. Just saying.
Yeah. Well,
I'm just saying.
When you can only muster 3 catches and your team puts up 28 points, I mean, against the Bungles. Did you see him give the game ball to Hugh?
Oh my God, so good, so swaggy, it's so swaggy. I loved it. So you said you were on another podcast this week.
Yeah, I was on the open bar last night.
How'd that go?
It was good. It was you should listen to it. It was supposed to be the all Tyler show, and then I was just kind of like a black sheep.
Yeah.
And then there's a twist ending.
Normal.
There's a twist ending at the end. One of the guys
Don't spoil it. It just came out this week, didn't it?
I'm not gonna spoil. What I'm gonna say is, one of the guys' names is not actually Tyler. So it's like they built up this Tyler episode, and then the dude reveals, everyone calls me Tyler, but that's not my real name. I'm not gonna say which one. There's 3 to choose from. You have to listen to the show to find out. But one of them at the end goes, "Yeah, that's not my actual name. People call me Tyler. That's what I go by. No one calls me my actual name." But yeah,
wow,
twist ending there.
I'm gonna be downloading that episode tonight.
Yeah. So yeah, actually, I think you know the guy.
We'll talk off the air.
So yeah.
So next week, Matt, it's my understanding that we're not gonna have a show.
We're not gonna have a show. There's gonna be some availability issues with the 2 of us, so no show next week. We'll come back with a playoff, kind of look at your off season if you're not in the playoff.
Yeah, we'll still cover the news and notes.
Yep.
It'll be more of a condensed version, I think. The show in general will be more condensed because less people, listen this time of year, and less people really need you at this time of year.
Because they're in the playoffs. They know what they're...
Now they feel like they know what they're doing. They're just going to come crawling back to us in July.
When we get those interviews. And
when they want to hear our hot takes about Lamar Jackson not being the next Michael Vick.
Maybe. Lamar Miller definitely blowing that RB2 prediction out of the water.
Yeah.
Sorry,
what were you going to say?
You said Lamar Jackson, and I got happy because I was like, yeah, Lamar Miller, but you said Lamar Jackson.
You heard Lamar. And lumped them all together.
That's right. There's only 2. You know any other Lamars?
How dare you?
You don't.
How dare you? I'm trying to think of somebody else.
Yeah, I know you are. You're buying time.
I can't do it. Do you have any episodes in mind that you'd like to do this off season? Or at the end of the year at all? Because I think last year we did the daddies, didn't we?
Yeah, we are having the daddies. We'll do the daddies again.
Are we going to do the daddies again?
Absolutely, we're going to do the daddies again.
Man, I'm excited.
Dude, we got so much traction on that.
When did we do the daddies last year?
We did the daddies throughout the playoffs.
Did we?
Yes, we took a week and we did a different daddies award each day of the week and tweeted it out and got retweets and tags. And a lot of people really helped us get that out there. That was kind of what put us on a lot of people's radar.
So many downloads. I remember we had so many.
Got a lot of people. So we're gonna do the daddies again. We've got some new awards, so we'll be okay.
Okay.
My dad can beat up your dad.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Future son-in-law.
Yeah, that's right. If you're not familiar with the Daddies Awards, you should go back in our archive and listen to the Daddies Award episode.
It was Derek Brown was a guest on our Daddies Award.
Cruise through that, and I think you're going to really enjoy it, and you'll be really excited for the next Daddies Awards because that was probably the highlight of this podcast history.
Yep.
And
I don't know. Scott Fish and Ryan we had some pretty big guests on.
Yeah.
But of our own content,
Yeah, that was crazy cool.
Yeah.
So we should do that again. I think what I want to do is I want to do a bracket of some sort when
like a
March
playoff
rolls around. And I'm sure there's other people that do that, but we should do something in March.
Okay.
For March Madness.
I'm in. Why are we having a production meeting?
I don't know, because we have nothing else to really talk about, and I wanted to kind of fill the time. We're going to end really short. So, that's really all I got.
We'll do daddies.
Okay.
We did the dad mock.
Please never say we'll do daddies.
I said we'll do the daddies.
Man, it got worse. All right, well, we'll see you guys in a couple weeks. Good luck on your playoff matchups if your playoff started this week. If you need to contact us on Twitter. We are at Dynasty Dads. I'm Justin. That's Matt. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
God bless.
Thanks for hanging out with us on another episode of the Dynasty Dads Podcast. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes and follow us on Twitter at Dynasty Dads. Visit us at our website, dynastydads.com, for articles, news, and notes, Dynasty Dads gear, and more.